What in the absolute is this? You're listening to the Deep Dive Report Show with Mike and Sam. And folks, let me tell you, the authoritarian democracy shredding bullshit we are diving into today, it makes my blood boil. We are talking pure, unadulterated Trump administration venom aimed right at Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers.
Yeah, it's just astonishing, really. We're looking at a situation where Governor Evers, a Democrat, gives state employees basic, totally standard legal guidance about dealing with federal immigration agents.
Standard guidance like, hey, ask for ID, call a lawyer maybe. Don't spill your guts without a warrant. Stuff you'd tell anyone.
Exactly. Completely common sense stuff. And somehow this gets twisted by the right-wing noise machine into some kind of seditious act.
Seditious. It's insane. Yeah. And then you have Trump's attack dog, this border czar, Tom Homan, known for being a hardliner, right? Actually threatening Governor Evers with arrests.
Homan literally threatened a sitting U.S. governor over providing legal advice to his own employees.
Think about that power play. The sheer naked threat. Homan's a little, wait till you see what's coming. Chilling. Wasn't just him ranting, wasn't it?
No. It felt very much like part of that administration's playbook. You know, use the federal government, use appointed thugs like Homan to intimidate anyone who doesn't toe the line, especially political opponents.
It's straight up authoritarian tactics. Silence dissent, punish opposition, weaponize the state, threatening an elected official for upholding the law.
Yeah.
If that doesn't scream danger zone, I don't know what does.
And the whole thing was built on lies, deliberate misinformation. Governor Evers himself called it out. They intentionally twisted his words, took this mundane guidance, and blew it up.
Right-wing media, GOP operatives, Elon Musk boosting the garbage on X, manufacturing outrage out of thin air. It's gaslighting 101.
We saw it again and again, didn't we? Attacking the DOJ, the FBI, diplomats, intelligence folks, anyone who showed independence. Homan threatening Evers fits right into that pattern. It wasn't policy, it was bullying.
Exactly. Using the government as a personal vendetta machine.
And then there's the timing, which really adds another layer. Just before Homan's threat, a Wisconsin judge, Hannah Dugan, gets arrested. Obstruction charges related to an undocumented immigrant.
Whoa, wait. Just before Homan threatened Evers.
Days before. Now, her lawyers say she's innocent, due process, all that. But the timing, alongside Homan's comments, it smells really bad.
Yeah, it definitely has that deeply disturbing stench, like you said.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if federal agencies were being pointed at people seen as, inconvenient to the administration's agenda.
It absolutely raises that specter of potential political interference. It's deeply concerning.
Thankfully, Governor Evers didn't back down. He called the threats chilling, a danger to American freedom, which they absolutely were.
But his line, "I am not afraid," that was powerful. It showed real courage against that kind of intimidation. He stood by his oath, the Constitution.
He had to, and he made that crucial point. If they can threaten the governor for this, what about you? What about any average citizen?
Exactly. It shows how fragile things are. We're supposed to be governed by laws, not the whims of some strongman appointee. This whole episode was, well, a stark warning.
And looking back now, May 2025, that warning still hangs in the air, doesn't it? The stink of that disregard for basic norms hasn't gone away. The Evers situation was a case study in how they try to dismantle things.
Absolutely. Leverage federal power, intimidate, harass, maybe even prosecute anyone who dared push back. It's vital we remember how close things got.
And that core tactic, misrepresentation, taking totally reasonable advice, like telling employees their rights, and twisting it into obstruction of justice.
It's classic propaganda. Vilify the opponent with baseless claims. They did it to immigrants, scientists, journalists, anyone who didn't fit their narrative.
And the Republican enablers, the Wisconsin GOP jumping on the bandwagon instead of defending an elected official's basic rights. Disgraceful.
Oh, completely. Piling on, amplifying the lies, and sharing those fake AI images of Evers in cuffs. That's not politics. It's like fascist meme warfare, pure bad faith.
It really exposes their hypocrisy on states' rights, doesn't it?
Totally situational bullshit, yeah. Federal overreach is fine when it serves their guy.
And it shows that clash over what rule of law even means. For them, it seemed to mean whatever Trump wants.
Whereas Evers was talking about actual rule of law, due process, rights, checks and balances. The things designed to prevent guys like Homan running wild.
The difference between a public servant and a wannabe tyrant's enforcer.
And think about the corrosive effect inside government. If a governor gets threatened for basic legal advice, what message does that send down the chain?
Yeah, every civil servant watching thinks, uh-oh, better keep my head down. Don't give advice they don't want to hear.
It creates that climate of fear. It undermines honest governance. It's how democracies start to decay from the inside: pressure, intimidation, bureaucratic sabotage.
Exactly.
Oh.
And let's not forget, Homan wasn't some random dude.
Yeah.
He was picked by Trump, chosen for his harsh stance.
Right. His threat wasn't out of character for the administration's approach, especially on immigration. Demonize, intimidate, punish, defiance.
Immigration was always the go-to political weapon for them, wasn't it? Stoke fear, distract, rally the base.
Definitely. And Homan's actions fit right into that. Terrorize immigrant communities, punish anyone advocating for rights, even basic legal awareness.
It was all about putting people in power, like Homan, who are willing to execute that brutal rhetoric.
Yeah.
Personnel policy, right?
And the damage those appointees caused.
Yeah.
We're still dealing with it. The attack on Evers was just fundamentally in bad faith.
His guidance was responsible. What else should he have done? Tell employees not to know their rights.
It's absurd. The outrage was manufactured, dangerously stupid, and aimed purely at political gain.
Which makes Evers' response, disgusted but not afraid, so important. That's how you have to face down bullies, refuse to be intimidated.
Absolutely. Stand on principle, speak the truth clearly, don't let them cow you.
And speaking of hypocrisy, the whole states' rights thing we mentioned.
Yeah, Republicans who usually scream bloody murder about federal interference were suddenly fine with Homan threatening a governor. Principles out the window.
It shows how they perverted federalism, too. Opposing states weren't partners. They were enemies to be crushed into compliance.
It was demand and control, not cooperation. We saw it elsewhere, too.
But Evers handled it well, speaking directly to people, laying out the facts calmly,
Contrasting sharply with the hysteria and lies coming from the other side.
and reminding everyone, again, if they can do this to him.
The threat extends to every citizen. It creates this underlying fear that anyone could be targeted just for disagreeing or standing up for the law.
And that fear seeps into the bureaucracy, right? Discourages honest advice. It's the deep state. Paranoia flip. They want a compliant, fearful state, not an independent one.
Precisely. And then you have the amplifiers like Musk throwing fuel on the fire, spreading the distortions. It shows how easily manufactured controversy can spiral.
Evers kept bringing it back to his oath. His oath to the Constitution.
Which is fundamental. In a time when oaths seemed optional for some, his focus on that commitment was crucial. It's the bedrock.
So, yeah, looking back, the assault on democratic structures was real, it was relentless, and it did damage.
And the threats against Evers were a prime example. We can't get complacent.
Definitely not. And that's why we go back through this stuff, not just to rage about it, though there's plenty to rage about.
Right. It's about understanding the playbook, recognizing the tactics, the lies, the intimidation, the weaponization of power, so we can spot it and fight it next time.
We have to remember what happened. The fragility is real.
So yeah, to wrap it up, Governor Evers gives standard legal advice. Trump's guy, Homan, threatens him with arrest. It's fueled by lies, amplified by partisans, and it's a terrifying example of authoritarian creep.
And the big lesson, this is how it happens. This is how democracy gets chipped away. Targeting opponents, lying constantly, using the government as a weapon, ignoring the law. Wisconsin was a flashing red light.
A case study in trying to dismantle democracy from the inside. And resisting that takes work. It means calling out the bullshit, rejecting the hate, supporting people who actually believe in democracy.
Demanding accountability. Refusing to be intimidated.
Being informed, staying engaged. That's really our best defense, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you keep listening to the Deep Dive Report Show. Like the video, share, subscribe, and smash that notification icon. We've got to get this truth out.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you in the next breaking news.